Alright guys, so unfortunately it's about time to leave my awesome campsite. But yeah, I'll probably do another 12 miles. I think the high point today is Standing Indian Mountain, which might be that peak on the right. I don't know if it comes through in the camera. But yeah, it actually should be a pretty easy day. All the elevation gain is like stretched out over a few miles, so that's very nice. So yeah, I think the plan is to stay at Carter Gap Shelter, and then I think there's another shelter like 12 or 13 miles the next day, and then I'll be only a few miles from the road where I can get into Franklin. And I'll probably sleep there, get some really good town food, and then head on out again. Alright, so yet another use for the buff. I have fashioned myself a sleeve to protect my arm that is already sunburned. Yeah, so honestly, when I woke up, I could like barely walk this morning. My Achilles on my left foot was killing me. But like less than an hour later, everything's fine. I'm cruising along. So it's just kind of crazy how quickly you could recover, but starting to worry less and less about injury. Relying a little bit on ibuprofen, but yeah, all is well. Yeah, so far North Carolina is definitely not disappointing with these views. The trails are really nice too, just kind of follow the ridge so far today. Georgia was a lot more steep, a lot of up and downs in one day, so I'm definitely loving this. Yeah, so supposedly we're supposed to get some snow on Friday, at least that's the forecast for Franklin. I think I'm probably going to maybe get a hotel there, although I guess if it's not really going to get that cold, then I don't mind the snow, as long as it's only a couple inches. So yeah, I got a decision to make there. I definitely have to go into Franklin to at least resupply, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Alright, so it just passed Deep Gap, and if you're counting, that's the second Deep Gap. This one was in North Carolina, but not a very creative name for a gap, I guess. But anyway, I just got some trail magic in the parking lot. I got a hot dog and some cookies, homemade chocolate chip from a couple from Florida who do this every year. So yeah, that was pretty awesome. My first real trail magic. It's the first time I've come up to a shelter and it's not been packed with people, so definitely stop here for lunch.
Get up here, make sure you go to the top of the mountain.
Oh yeah? Alright, so made it to the top of Standing Indian Mountain. I ran into a local guy from Hiawassee on the way up, and he said I should take this side trail that goes all the way to the summit, and I'm glad I did, because this is just views galore from here too. So yeah, I headed for Carter Gap Shelter tonight probably, which I think is like a 12-mile day, so taking it easy. But yeah, probably into Franklin the day after tomorrow. Getting my water straight from the leaf. Alright guys, just woke up. I think it's day 11 now. But anyway, another day in paradise. I stealth camped again last night, but definitely not as nice of a sight as I got yesterday. It actually looks like it's like a burn zone that got burned down probably a while ago. You can see like this tree's burnt. And you might be able to see all the other trees have like char marks on them. And of course there's like down limbs everywhere. So probably not the best place to hammock, but I survived. So today there's one more shelter before Franklin that I'll stay at. And then get into Franklin super early on Friday. I haven't decided if I'm actually going to sleep there or just do like a Nero day, which is just a day where you do a couple miles and stop in town. Alright guys, so today's a lot more overcast and foggy, which is actually pretty welcome considering yesterday and the day before. But yeah, the goal of today is to get to the shelter that's closest to the road that goes into Franklin. And also to get some cell service so I can make some reservations, figure out what I'm doing when I get to Franklin. Other than resupplying and hopefully doing some laundry. I'm hoping to stay there the night. But we'll see what happens. There's a campsite not too far, so there is an option to just go into town for the day and come back out. But yeah, hopefully I can get a reservation. But we'll see what happens. So one thing that's been pretty surprising so far is that it'll be like 75 during the day, but then as soon as the sun goes down, or like not long after, it'll be down in like the 40s. I've been a little, I wouldn't say chilly at night, but if my underquilt shifts a little bit, I get like cold spots. But it's not too bad. Yeah, so I keep running into like these burned zones. And I do remember hearing about a few years back, part of this area being closed off to thru hikers for wildfires. I think it was here. So yeah, that's pretty much what I was camped in last night, which doesn't make you feel too good if you're in a hammock seeing all these down branches. So probably wasn't the smartest place to camp. And actually when I was in Gatlinburg hiking in the Smokies in January, there was a trail that I wanted to do and realized that there had been a burn a few years ago that actually spread all the way down into Gatlinburg, and then that kind of had like an aha moment, realizing that all the hillsides were all burned down and stuff. So it's kind of a crazy environment out here. It's definitely like a fire ecosystem, I guess, which you don't really see up north. So today the high point's going to be Albert Mountain, which I think is pretty high, if not the highest point in North Carolina. Actually, that can't be right, because I think Clingman's Dome is in North Carolina. But anyway, it's got a fire tower on top. It's supposed to be pretty intense. I know there's like a bad weather alternative route that hopefully we don't have to take. But I'm kind of looking forward to some more intense hiking, I guess. Even though I'm pretty sore, but I expect it to be kind of back like in New England, hiking in the whites. So yeah, maybe I'll film a little bit if it's not too dicey out. This section's kind of weird. This is definitely where I'd be getting like a hardcore sunburn if it was yesterday. And there'd probably be a killer view up here if it was yesterday too. Yeah, so finally got some signal and was able to call the budget in, and also Baltimore Jack's hostel. Both of those were booked, but got a hold of Gooder Grove. And I got a private room booked and paid for there, so he's gonna shuttle me in, I think 8:45 or 9 tomorrow morning from Winding Stair Gap. So I guess the plan today is to either get to that shelter that's closest to the road, or maybe even find a stealth spot even closer than the shelter, because I'm pumped to get into Franklin. I guess there's a concert not far from the hostel on that night, which is pretty sweet, and also some kind of spring festival going on in Franklin that the guy told me about, so looking forward to that. Alright, so we're probably 3/4 of the way up Albert Mountain, and you can actually see the fire tower now that we're going to. So I assume this part coming up is the tough part. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's up there. So this is the trail going up to the summit.
Alright. Is it up? Well, I kind of want to be on the top, but without that, it's just kind of like cool view. Yeah.
Alright guys, this looks like the 100-mile mark. Somebody marked it out for us. Alright, so made it to Winding Stair Gap, where I'm going to catch my shuttle tomorrow morning, but unfortunately I was hoping to camp somewhere not right next to the road. So the road's right there, which makes it nice for tomorrow, because tomorrow's pretty much a 0 day, but basically I got like a hobo camp set up right next to the road, so we'll see how this goes. Also, I lost my block of cheese, so now I'm eating tuna rolled up in a tortilla, which is like the last of my food, so it's a sad, sad day.